Welcome to Zed Multimedia Online. Don't forget to follow us on all our socials on TikTok at Zed Multimedia, LinkedIn at Zed Multimedia, YouTube, Zed TV, IDX, and Facebook at ZFMGH. Do enjoy this video.
Goofy fights. So I'm going to leave the question to you and the answer to you. But before that, I have here with me who I have here in our ears, Mauli Edward Amenu, who is an IT systems engineer. And we're going to, like I said earlier, discuss or have a conversation around the topic, the backbone of tech, which is understanding the role of IT engineers. The question is, are IT engineers the backbone, or there's more to it? And who is an IT engineer? What goes into becoming an IT engineer? You're locked in on Z101.9 FM. Molly.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about yourself. You are if I'm not wrong, an IT systems engineer, true or false?
Exactly. That's perfect.
It sounds like a very difficult job.
As you said, my name is Mauli Edward Aminu, and I'm basically working IT and designation IT systems engineer. And basically my work focuses on system support, cloud and storage, server infrastructures. And basically my role involves making sure that businesses and the systems that host these businesses remain secure, reliable, and efficient. And I'm especially interested in how technology can solve real business problems and how communication and marketing help people understand the true value behind the technology that we use.
And so you're collecting a lot of money. Yes, so I'm more curious, before we dive into like the actual conversation, what does it take for one to get to that level as an IT engineer? Do I need any form of certification? Do I have to go to read certain courses, obviously, or is something I can pick up as a hobby and become a full-time career for me?
Okay, so it goes hand in hand with a lot of things. Now, obviously, first and foremost, you would have to have the zeal and the discipline to put in the work, right? And essentially, you would have to. It's a mixture of doing a lot of self-study, investing yourself in taking certain relevant courses, and making sure that you have real life working experience. I mean, there are so many times we have a lot of people that come out of school. Yes, they have the theoretical knowledge, but it doesn't really translate into the working environment.
Right.
Straight off. I would always advise that you invest in certifications, and every OEM, every vendor out there has its own specifications that address certain specific technologies that are key areas with different businesses. So yes, it's a marrying of both things, having a good background information that sets the basics for what you're going to do, and investing further in yourself in taking certification. That's also important.
Right. Would you say would you say for a beginner, somebody could start with something as basic as the IT support course on Coursera?
Yes. Exactly. I mean, before you get to the room, you need to know exactly what you are talking about or what is being talked about, and what those online study platforms help you to do is they let you understand the language of the IT environment, so that you are not totally green when you get into those rooms.
Right.
So investing instead, I always say, like, when you're going to charter a path for yourself in IT, you would always have to start with a role in desktop or system support. It really opens you up to troubleshooting, and something that is often not so looked on, which is your social skills. Because eventually everything is translating to how you are going to translate this IT to end users. So you'd have to improve your social skills as well. So a background or starting from a role in service decks or service support is essential in chartering a path in IT.
Okay. So then the main question, do you think that IT engineers are like the backbone of technology? Would you say they play a role, or they're like the sole, the sole support?
Yes. Okay, so I mean, let's take how or the trajectory of IT, right?
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years back, we were not so dependent on certain intercommunicated systems.
Yeah.
Now, everything we work on at the background is a network
Mm-hmm.
that is interconnected to other networks,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the livelihood as we find ourselves in right now. Now, whether we like it or not, it is the backbone, and this backbone is being managed by seasoned IT professionals, and everything is being driven by IT right now. You can't even escape it. You can't go through this world and not interact at any point with an IT system.
Mm-hmm.
Be it you running through a traffic light or something official as working on your PC,
Your PC.
or everything is interconnected. And at the background of this all are interconnected systems, servers, cloud, and everything. So it's something that is inescapable. And IT at the core is now at the core of everything. And in fact, IT now drives business adaptations and changes,
Mm-hmm.
because any business offering would have to pass the feasibility of IT prior to implementation. So it is one thing that we can't ignore.
Mm.
It's a backbone of everything
It
now.
definitely is. From your explanation, I think it's like it holds everything together, especially in regards to information technology. So, what would you say? Um, what exactly would you say an IT engineer does? Or yeah, and also how does their role? How different is their role as compared to other tech careers or out there, or other tech professionals?
Yes, that's a very beautiful question. Like, so I would say an IT engineer is primarily depending obviously on the designation you find yourself, but in the general scope is responsible for designing and maintaining and improving technology systems that keep the organizations or systems running. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and this would primarily include networks, servers, internet connectivity, security, platforms, and even end user devices. Now, the difference is that many professionals focus on creating products, right? For example, software, and that seems to be the outlook. Whenever somebody hears an IT person, they tend to focus on the applications and not what actually holds these applications. But IT engineers are the people who actually make sure that these environments support the applications that are being run. And in doing so, making sure also that the platforms are reliable, secure, and available. We can just look at it this way, right? If, let's say, we take software developers, right? They
Yes.
build the car,
Mm-hmm.
but IT engineers primarily build and maintain the road, the traffic systems, and the fuel station
Uh-huh.
that keep the car moving.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That sums it up because that means your job is like a lot, oh.
Oh,
Don't you think like there's a lot of things you have to put in place to make sure things are functioning very, very properly and efficiently? Because one little mistake and you have to go down, 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 down in the wormhole to fix the problem.
exactly. So now there's one thing that we say in the industry, especially with seasoned professionals. They
Okay.
said the expert is always the master of the fundamentals,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is not it's not like we are building rockets into space. Like it's not beyond anyone.
Okay.
But it takes dedication and discipline to master the foundational building concepts of what an IT engineer is required of to do, and those building blocks are what makes a seasoned expert. Uh, what we see most happening is that people always want the shortcut to becoming an expert.
Right.
There is no shortcut.
There's no shortcut.
You have to put in the work. You have to
Months,
go through
days, hours.
every stage. Yes, exactly. Because it shows, and it would always be eminent in the work you do.
There'll always be. I'm curious. I know that for every role, for every job, there are ups and downs. There are hurdles. There are actually downsides. How is it like? Okay, or what are some of the most frequent technical problems you handle after a system is like deployed, or like there's an issue? What are some of the common errors or some of the common mistakes you find in your work, in your line of work? You are like a systems engineer, so let's use yours for example.
So I would say primarily, whenever you are doing an undertaking, a project,
okay,
when you're working on an IT system, the requirements gathering and the requirements analysis. Time and time again, what I've seen is and it's usually always from the end users.
Yeah.
And partly end users, partly the person responsible for managing the requirement gathering. If the requirements are not captured accurately, you would always run into problems, implementation and post-implementation.
Okay.
So I'll say, for example, our organization gets in touch, tells us that, okay, we want to upgrade our systems to a particular new version, right?
Right.
And I would come in, do a feasibility analysis. That is their requirement. The basic requirement is that they want to upgrade. I'll ask, okay, what platform do they want to upgrade to? I need to ascertain from my expertise that, okay, the current hardware, the current software they are running, can it support this new system? And what is going to be the feasible downtime window that is going to be involved with that upgrade? There are layers of questions and there are layers of background investigations you need to do to make sure that every aspect of that undertaking is taken account for.
Right.
Usually what happens is that we miss one or two things. And once the system goes live or goes into implementation, it is exposed. Okay. And now we are doing a lot of reactive support. When it should have been proactive, we should have preempted it and found a solution to it before it getting to the end user's life. So it's always a challenge of requirement gathering not being done well, or users' requirements not being captured well. Then in implementation and post-implementation, we face a lot of challenges.
One thing this reminds me of is the fact that amidst everything that you guys are doing, there are a set of skills you guys should have, right? But I want to know, between these three skills, I think there are four, three skills, which one would you say is more important, or would you say they all go hand in hand? The first is technical knowledge. Then we have problem solving, and we have adaptability. Within these three skills, do you apply all of them, or they would have to come in succession? There's one that you think is more important than the other, or they complement each other?
Yes. So I would say off my heart, like I would say all three are important, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, with modern trends and how quickly things are evolving, I would say problem solving and adaptability are becoming more important. Okay. Because of how rapid technology evolves, right? Technical knowledge primarily will help you understand the systems, right? But with every organization, that changes. Because the set of systems or applications that different organizations would use will be disparate from each other. And in doing so, they present different challenges to different IT engineers. Now,
Oh,
I always say technical skills is key to getting you into that room, right?
mm-hmm.
But your problem solving and adaptability are what makes you successful over time.
How
Okay.
fast they're able
Now,
to
technical
problem solve.
knowledge would help you understand the tools. Problem solving would help you identify the root cause. And primarily, adaptability would help you keep learning as the technology evolves. So you realize that they go hand in hand, and at any level, at every stage, one will be required more of you than the other.
Wow. 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 So no matter what you do, you'd probably need all of them. Like I said, they complement each other. But I believe that adapting and then being a problem solver, especially in an IT field, is more important. Because again, when we're talking about adaptation, look at AI, right?
Yes.
So now we are incorporating AI into most of the things you're doing now. So it's obvious that you're supposed to be, again, being a problem solver, you're supposed to know how to adapt to trends that come up to as well. We didn't think artificial intelligence was going to be a thing until now. It's being incorporated into everything. Every little thing you do, there's a pinch of AI in there. But yeah, I think definitely, like you said, problem solving and adaptability should definitely be up there, top there, because it helps and it's definitely going to help push whatever you're doing faster and should I say, more forward than anything else. How, this might be a funny question, but in instances where you have issues between software and hardware, right? How does an IT engineer, again, I know troubleshooting is like a big, it's like a big foundation for fixing most of these problems. But is there anything else aside troubleshooting that helps you distinguish between a hardware problem or a software problem?
Okay. So at the heart of uh, any form of undertaking in IT, right, is troubleshooting.
Yes.
Because even the seasoned professionals, right,
Yes.
who have done one particular project over and over again,
Yeah.
with every time they're going to do the project, they're going to run into certain new issues, right? And
Yeah.
past experiences and ability to navigate past experiences through layer troubleshooting is important.
Okay.
Now, let's say a typical hardware issue, which would always evolve around physical components, like let's say a faulty disk or equipment or a component of a system. It might be damaged cables. It might be overheating due to lack of adequate cooling. It could be even power supply failure, right? Then we can look at typical software issues that may involve like an operating system error, an application might crash, there might be a misconfiguration on the application end, or there might be a malware or virus infestation, right?
Right.
Now, if you take a typical troubleshooting scenario, for example, you pick up a device, right? It powers on and it is fine. It powers on and it behaves correctly, but you don't see any display out of it. Then you might start to think, okay, it might be a software issue, right?
Yes.
Now, if that device doesn't power up, okay, at all, then conclusively you can start looking in the department of hardware.
Hardware.
So the key thing is to isolate the problem step by step instead of just making assumptions, which a lot of people do in their quest to find the root cause of things. It's supposed to be a layer by layer approach. And as I said earlier, the expert is the master of the fundamentals. If you understand your fundamentals, you're always going to take things at the bare level ground and you're going to troubleshoot as it goes up.
Expertise is always a big role to play always has a big role to play in that line of work. What would you say is the most challenging, ever since you went into this, what would you say is the most challenging engineering project you undertook as a systems engineer?
Quite a lot of challenging
I mean,
projects.
I want one that shook you, like one that was like, ha, quite.
But for me, I would say the most challenging ones has always been the one that are physical and cerebral demanding.
Wow.
So it requires a lot of you, like it taxes every aspect of your troubleshooting skills.
Mm-hmm.
And it is physically demanding as well.
Mm-hmm.
In one of my projects, I got a chance to work. I can't go into details but
yeah, sure, please don't.
a mounting outfit
Uh-huh.
for a particular project.
Okay.
Besides the complexity of the technology, it was physically demanding as well, because you had to be up very early, work very late throughout the night, like it was on clockwork.
Wow.
And it was the first time we were doing something of that magnitude. I mean, usually projects of that nature are very, very exciting to engineers, because it's fulfilling when you get it done and the customer is happy. Yeah, but it has always been such projects, the ones that are cerebral and physically demanding.
What would you say the nature of your job is like, especially in our side of the world? Like looking at Ghana, do you think it's something a lot of people are going into? Do you think it's handicapped, or do you think we need more people in that field? Are you seeing people finding it as a challenging role, as a challenging job, or there's not enough demand for IT engineers in general?
You know, it's interesting you ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
It's a discussion I've had in very similar technical circles, and there has been always one conclusive response, right?
Right.
I think the new age of people endeavoring into this workforce don't have the patience to put in the work.
Right.
I mean, it takes you would naturally have to have the disposition of, you want to learn at every turn and accept that the information you get today would be redundant in a few years down the line, and you would have to keep on updating.
Yeah.
So what I've realized is that most people are comfortable studying one thing once and not necessarily having to update themselves. And with IT, once you get in, it's not rewarding at first. I won't lie to you. If you really want to take it serious, it won't be rewarding at first. You would need to get the experience, and usually the places that would give you experience would require that you are providing some benefit, and that is pretty much reserved for seasoned engineers. If you're a new person going into that field, you would have to do the little jobs that nobody wants to do. But that's the jobs that would give you exposure in the long run.
Yeah.
And that will give you confidence. And once you become confident, you can start taking the bigger projects then with time. But you have to put in the work. That initial work has to be done. There's no escaping it.
Is this jobs of this kind, are they remote or hybrid or even more physical?
I think with the modern workforce, our work as IT engineers has become very flexible. I mean, obviously, there are some dispensations in IT that you can't work remotely. For example, if you're a data center engineer, it requires your physical presence, right? If you're a software developer, it's the most flexible work ever. You can be on Mars and still work. Once you get your tax done, nobody really cares.
You can join Atomis 2 and then go and work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can take a lap around the moon. Nobody really is too worried about you.
Yeah.
But the dispensations are different. So depending on where you find yourself, you can have full flexibility, hybrid flexibility, or your physical presence will be required.
Okay, what is yours like? If I'm not being inquisitive.
Okay, so let's just say I've
Flexible.
put in a lot of work. I have gone through different stages of this IT career of mine,
Yeah.
right? And by God's grace, every stage has been a good foundation for the next one.
Right.
Currently, I'm enjoying the flexibility of the role in which I find myself. But don't be fooled; it was not always the case.
And people will not understand this. Those who see it like this would not like. They will not understand it that they need to go through the amount of stress you went through to get to where you are today. They want to be at where you are today, easily.
Yeah. No, there's no, and you know, when you start off, you need to be available, especially when you are trying to get some work done, get some exposure. You need to be available. And for me, for most part of my life, I was all around the place.
Yeah.
There's this project here. You go, you come back. The next morning, you are going for another project here. I mean, there's nothing like Friday night chilling with the boys.
Sleeping safe.
There's nothing like weekend going out to the beach to relax. Because guess what? Typically, when a bank or an industry is going to do any type of upgrade or significant changes to their systems, when do they do it? Over the night or over the weekend?
Yeah.
Exactly. And who would be doing that whilst everybody's asleep? The IT engineer. So you see, it's not pretty when you're doing it. It's exciting when you start, but after a while, it takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
But it is something you have to do. It's a phase you have to go through to get to a point where you can enjoy the benefits of not having to be there in person and coordinating things from a distance.
Beautiful. You've come a long way. I'm pretty sure you've been doing this for years. You didn't just start. How do you actually see the role of IT engineers evolving over the next decade?
This is very, very interesting. Now, the role of IT engineers would become more strategic, right? Right now, we see IT engineers as break and fix, more or less. There's a problem, IT, call IT, write this thing down, call IT. But I think in future, IT engineers will not only maintain systems, they would actually help organizations make decisions like around the age of artificial intelligence, cloud computing, which is now very comfortably adapted, cybersecurity, automation, now data management. Then we can talk about maybe digital transformation as well. Now, the IT engineer of the future would not be just fixing technology problems, but they would actually help shape the business strategy. And as technology becomes more complex, right, IT engineers would also need to develop or have stronger communication skills.
Right.
Okay, not just technical, stronger communication skills, because you would need to be able to explain your technical ideas in a way that business leaders and customers can understand.
Right.
Which historically has been a disparity. Somebody is speaking IT and the person you're speaking to is totally lost from all the technical jargon the person is using. So you have to now improve your education skills to be able to translate that technical knowledge to business and consumers to properly understand.
To properly understand. That's more important because communication, like they say, is key. Now, somebody wants to go into IT engineer. IT engineering. He wants to aspire to become maybe a systems engineer, maybe maybe general IT engineering. Before they branch. What is that one advice? It could be two, could be three. You'd give to them to encourage them to start their career as an IT engineer.
Yeah. On the advices, there are a plethora of advices. We can't even exhaust them in the time we have.
Yeah.
But I would limit it to a few, right?
Okay.
For some, I encourage them to build both technical and people skills. Yeah, I mean, we focus too much on the technical skills, but we totally lose sight of how important the people skills are.
Okay.
It was a very hard lesson I learned very earlier in my career. Now, the key advice I'll tell them is that you need to learn the fundamentals of the systems you're going to work with.
Okay.
You learn the fundamentals of networking, systems, and cybersecurity. This would form the building blocks of everything else you're going to be working with. And it is essential that in your studies you practice solving real problems, not abstract, non-feasible problems, but real life problems, real life scenarios. It is important to also keep and stay curious and never stop learning.
Right.
Because as I said, in the IT world, things evolve at a very quick rate. So you can't afford to stop learning or remain stagnant. And thankfully, right now, we have so many ways to have hands-on experience through virtual or physical labs, internships. There are some certifications as well that are very hands-on, right? And last but not the least is developing communication skills.
Okay.
You can understand the thing, be an expert on the thing, but if you can't communicate it for that business leader or that end user to understand, it's null and void. I would say people should not focus on just learning the technology, right? But learn how to explain its value. Because most of the successful IT engineers are the ones who can connect the technology to the people and the business needs.
Right. Because if you can't do that, then what's the point? Because if you can't do that, then honestly, what's the point? Yeah, yes. That's pretty solid. I'm going to ask you our final question before we wrap it up, right? And I would need you to explain. If you had to choose between freelancing as an IT engineer and doing it full time, which one would you go for and why?
I would advise, in the long run,
No,
I'll say
you're not
everybody should
advising.
be
No,
an
Molly, listen, you're not advising. You're choosing.
Yes. So I would say in the long run, your focus should always be an entrepreneur, right? But you have to put in the work. You have to get the experience.
Okay.
You can't get the experience by just starting off as an entrepreneur. You have to work under someone. You have to make mistakes. You have to learn from your mistakes. You have to build your capacity, improve on your capabilities. You do that over a time, then now you can be a seasoned leader. Then now you can have your own business. You can now open a firm or an outfit and do freelance, because now you have developed that value to provide to customers. But you're not going to be able to provide that value if you have not developed the necessary skills to aid in that undertaking. So I would say when you're starting off, gain the experience. In the first couple of years, sacrifice that to get the experience, the exposure. And that would even give you the ideas on where would be beneficial to endeavor into to do freelance.
Mm-hmm. That's solid. So you wouldn't pick a side.
Pardon?
You're not picking a side.
I'm saying that the end goal should be freelance.
The end goal
But
should be freelance.
if you are doing freelance and you're not doing anything unique, or you're not being an expert at what you're doing, then you're not actually providing value to anyone.
Okay.
And people are not going to patronize you if you're not providing value to them.
The end goal is value. So far as you have value, it doesn't depend where you find yourself. You'd always be appreciated. That's beautiful. Molly, thank you so much for taking your time and joining us here on Z101.9 FM. I've learned a lot myself. I might actually consider doing IT engineering at the point. Yeah, I'll look into it. I don't know if it's late or it's still early, but I'll consider it. I'll start with a Coursera course. I started it, but I'm not really finished. So I'll go back to.
You can always get back to it.
Yeah, I'll just go back.
We've been there before, trust me.
I'll just go back to it and continue. But thank you so much for taking time. Really appreciate it. We should do this more some other time. And wishing you all the best. Have a wonderful week. Thank you so much once again. And I can't stop saying thank you. But yeah, we will talk more, Charlie.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So that was Mauli, who is a systems engineer and somebody who is well versed with the IT engineering space. Shared his knowledge. If you missed it, please make sure to check our social media handles out for the replay of the session, of the live session. Please follow us on Facebook at ZFMGH, same for Instagram and X, and ZTV on YouTube, and Z Multimedia or ZFM on TikTok. Our website is www.zmultimedia.com. Now, you can fully admit that IT engineers are definitely the backbone of technology. They do have that huge role to play in order for us to efficiently and successfully use our devices without stressing so much. I'm Delphi. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Up next is Highway 10.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And also do follow us on all our socials. On TikTok at Zed Multimedia, LinkedIn at Zed Multimedia, YouTube at ZTV, IDX, and Facebook at ZFMGH.